Hi everybody and good morning. Welcome to our week number 5 live stream for our intro psych class that we have together. It feels like it's been a long time between missing a week for my cruise and then spring break. So I hope you're all doing well. I hope you all had a restful week last week and had a chance to take some time to recuperate as we get ready for like this last half of the semester that we have together. Can you all hear me? Okay, it looks like there's a good number of you in here with me. Someone let me know if you can hear me and see me just fine before we keep going. Awesome. Thank you so much. Perfect. I'm glad to hear it. Anyone go anywhere fun? Do anything exciting for spring break? If you did and want to share, feel free to put it in the chat. I went on my cruise, which was amazing. If you were curious, I ate way too much. My daughter and I had a competition for who could eat the most croissants, and she won. She ate 50 croissants in a week. I ate a respectable 33. I thought I did pretty well, but she blew me out of the water with that. We had some bad weather, so we didn't get to dock in one of our ports. But otherwise, it was so much fun, and there was a really, really cool excursion that we did. We got to go through some caves underground in the dark with headlamps and wetsuits. Oh, it was so cool. So it was very, very fun. I'm already daydreaming and planning my next one either in November or next spring break. Thinking about it already. I'm missing all of the croissants that I ate, all 33 of them. I practically ate one for each one of you, so you're welcome. But anyway, I will focus back in here. Obviously, we didn't have a live stream last week because it was spring break, and I did grade everything. Everything is all caught up and up to date as of now. So rather than go back a couple of weeks, I figured we'd just focus on this week and what we have going on this week and moving forward. So let's go ahead and head over to Canvas together and take a look at where we are at. And we are in week number 5. We are past the halfway point of our 8-week class. So weeks 1 through 4 are in the books along with spring break. And now we have weeks 5 and 6, and then weeks 7 and 8. So we're definitely getting there. We're halfway through. The semester is kind of flying by at this point. So let's take a look at what we have going on for week number 5, which is where we are this week. So as of yesterday, and I'm sorry to change the time, or I guess the time's the same. I'm sorry to change the day for this week. Everything's been a little like out of whack, getting back into the swing of things after spring break. But this week we are in week number 5. And then next week is week number 6. And everything from weeks 5 and 6 is due by April 23rd at 11:59 p.m. So as usual, you have 2 weeks to complete everything. So what we are focusing on this week is Chapter 9 and Chapter 10. Chapter 9 is related to motivation. Chapter 10 is related to emotions. These are 2 very core topics for the field of psychology and for intro psych. So as usual, you're going to want to read Chapter 9 in the ebook, read Chapter 10 in the ebook. I think that's a great place to start. Read through them, click on any links that are in there. Think about apply it, all the stuff that's in the ebook. Hopefully you've been reading all semester. And then of course you'll want to go through and read my lectures. On the first page, you have objectives and summary, which you can listen to or read. Beyond the book here, I made a little video about the survival instinct and different motivational theories, a little bit about fad diets. In pop culture, there's some movies and shows related to losing weight and to eating disorders that I put on here to share with you. Some key terms in review, the terms you need to know for the exam, and then finally on the last page a little bit about losing weight and help for eating disorders. So click on any links that are in there, watch all the videos. If I gave you one, make sure you explore everything. Of course, watch the lecture video for Chapter 9 as well. So this is me lecturing to some PowerPoint slides. This one's a Zoom link, so you can click on that. And as usual, you'll probably want to take notes, pay attention. The materials here will appear on the exam. Then do the same thing for Chapter 10, right? Read Chapter 10 in the ebook, and then go through my lecture for Chapter 10 on emotions. This one can be a little bit tricky. There's a couple of different theories of emotions in there. So definitely, again, watch the videos, read through the content. Here's your summary, as usual, beyond the book. I made a short video about the different theories of emotion. Now, I obviously lectured on this, but just kind of a shorter one in case you needed just a quick recap and maybe to hear it in a slightly different way. a little bit about gestures and emotions and color, some in pop culture stuff related to lying. Lots of shows and books and things related to lying. A funny clip here from Meet the Parents about polygraphs, a little bit about anger. So some interesting things there. Key terms in review. Here are all the terms from chapter 10 that you need to know for the exam. And then finally on the last page, how do you spot a lie? And then I talked a little bit about the origins of the phrase liar, liar, pants on fire, hanging from a telephone wire. So this will be a video that might help you with the discussion and also questions on the exam. So make sure you're watching it. And then just for fun, I did a 2 truths and a lie. This is a couple years old at this point. I should probably update it. Something about croissants, right? I could tell you how many croissants I ate, which you would know at the moment. But 2 truths and a lie, I put this in here just for fun if you want to try and guess which one I'm lying about. A little bit then also about how to be happier. So watch through that or read through that, click on anything in there, watch the lecture video. And then as usual, you have 2 discussions for this week. So you have discussion 9 and discussion number 10. Let's take a look at those together. So discussion number 9, this one is related to chapter 9. And as usual, you have my little instructions up here. You know, you're going to want to watch my brief introductions video. I hope you're watching these. I took the time to make them and I think they're helpful. Answer all of the questions that are below. Be detailed in your responses. This is, again, as usual, is a chance for you to show off your understanding of the materials. Think of them as like little mini papers, right? Elaborate, show off your knowledge, always give me details. And then you'll want to read through a minimum of 5 of your classmates' responses and reply to 1 of them. As usual, it's worth 15 points, 13 for your responses to my questions, and then 2 for your responses to a peer. And this one I think is kind of an easier one, looking at the topic of hunger, a very specific motive that we covered a little bit. I want you to think about a fad diet that you've maybe either heard of or you've tried or maybe someone you know has tried. And you're going to report the main components of your fad diet. How does it work? What are you required to do? What can you eat or not eat? What is the timeline for results, right? Nothing but ice cream for 10 days and you lose 10 pounds, right? Whatever it might be. That sounds good to me. And then you'll report the main advantages and disadvantages of your diet. You could think about this as like the rewards and dangers or pros and cons. And then reflect a little bit about what role do you think the media, things like movies, television, music, magazines, and so on, might play in contributing to the negative self-views that often accompany a desire to lose weight and or eating disorders such as anorexia and bulimia. Explain, you might even give examples if you have examples that come to mind. But make sure when you're ready you hit reply and answer all these questions. And then as usual, make sure you reply to a classmate to get those 2 points as well. If I go back, you also have discussion number 10. Discussion number 10 is related to chapter 10 on emotions. Again, here's my little video. Make sure you are detailed and elaborate in your responses, 15 points like always. So with this one, what you are doing is you're going to be thinking about the theories of emotion that we covered and kind of connecting them to an event in your life. And then you're also going to think about lying a little bit as well. So you're going to explain an emotional reaction from each of the 3 theories of emotion discussed in the textbook: the James Lange theory, Cannon-Bard theory, and the Schachter-Singer theory. So all 3 of them, this is an area where sometimes people mess up and they only do one. Make sure you do all 3. But I want you to think of an event, something that happened in your life recently, and then it can be real, it can be made up, and then you're going to describe the chain of events that led to an emotion from each of the 3 theories. So for example, we were walking in the caves, right, in where were we? Playa del Carmen, right just south of Cancun. And all of a sudden, we had to turn off all of our headlamps. And when we turned off all of our headlamps, right, I felt my whole body like kind of tense up. My palms started to sweat. It was kind of scary, to be honest. And so that physiological reaction that I experienced of my palms sweating, my heart beating a little bit faster, my pupils dilating, right, led to the response of fear and maybe a little bit of excitement too. So what you're doing is explaining like an event and how that led to the different chain of events leading up to an emotion. You do that for all three theories. Then I want you to think about what are some ways to spot a lie. You can reference the lecture. There's a lot in the Beyond the Book kind of stuff, that video that I showed you that was on there, your own personal experiences, but be specific, right? So for me, when I lie, I smile or I laugh. Everybody tends to have little tells that give them away. What are some things that you might look for to know that somebody is lying? And then just as a bonus, I put that video in here again, that 2 truths and a lie video. If you would like to try and guess for fun which one is the lie, I tried very hard not to laugh or smile. It was very rehearsed, but you can still go for it and guess, and I will give you the answer, the truth, when we get finished with these 2 weeks. So read chapter 9, read chapter 10, discussion 9, discussion 10. You also have a little self-assessment to do. So because we're halfway through the class, we've taken the first 4 weeks. Oops, I should fix that. It says first 8 weeks. Well, while we're here, I'll just fix it. Otherwise, I will completely forget, probably. So we finished the first 4 weeks of this class, right? We're halfway through. What I want you to do is kind of take a moment to consider your progress, your approaches to learning since your last survey you took 2 weeks ago. Respond to the questions and be honest, right? This is going to allow me to kind of see where you're at. It's a chance for you to reflect on where you're at. And it's going to be, kind of simple stuff, right? Are you doing the things that, you should be doing? Is there anything you need to change? How happy are you with your grades so far? And all that kind of stuff. So it's worth 5 points. Be sure to be honest. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. And that will get you the points for that self-assessment number 2. And then finally, as usual for this week, you do have a extra credit opportunity, which I will give you in just a moment here. But are there any questions for now? I do have a couple of reminders for you, but any questions for me before I give you the extra credit question and so on? I'm going to post a couple of things while I'm waiting for you. Because it's been a couple of weeks since we met, almost every single one of you has lost your subscription status. There's only, I believe, 7 people who are still subscribed out of the 100 and something of you that are in these 2 classes. So please take a moment today, tomorrow, sometime this week to renew that. If you can do that now, it'll be good through the rest of the semester and you won't have to worry about it again. But go onto Twitch and to my page and renew that by clicking on that drop down bar all the way down at the bottom. You can subscribe for another 30 days if it's expired. You could see if you just have the little crown next to your name, that means it's expired. You lost the little football cake. And if you don't have either, then you can obviously try and figure that out. The other reminder for you, if you're looking at the schedule, is that, let me put this in here, our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, April 19th at 11:30 a.m. So back to our normal day and time next week on Wednesday, April 19th at 11:30 a.m. And that's when we will meet to talk about week number 6, exam number 3, and all of that kind of stuff. Otherwise, let me give you the extra credits question. I wrote this out ahead of time so that I wouldn't have to type it. So this is the week number 5 Twitch extra credits. And the question I have for you is, what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? I'd like you to explain or define and then give me an example of each. So what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation? Explain and give me an example of each one. And when you're ready to answer that, you will go to the optional Twitch extra credit number 5, since we're in week 5. Click on that. And then up at the top, let me just get into student view. Up here, up in the top, you can click on Start Assignment. And that is going to be where you can then type your response down here in the text box and then hit Submit, right? And that's where 2 points of extra credit. You get the little confetti burst and horseshoes. Very exciting. This will be due by April 23rd at 11:59 p.m. So make sure you get going on the materials for week number 5. I will be posting the recording of this a little later today, so when we're done, I will start the download and upload process. It'll be posted right here. In case you're watching this later, you probably already found it. But again, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're all settled into the class and feeling pretty comfortable. Don't forget to do everything due this week. And then next week when we meet, we will talk about chapters 11 and 12 and discussions 11 and 12 and the third exam. So what I will do, I will hang out for a little while. Of course, like usual, if you have any questions for me, kind of short and sweet today, a little bit, kind of getting ourselves back on track after spring break. But if you have any questions for me, I'll be here. Otherwise, get going on this week. Enjoy the weather. It feels like spring today, right? It's like getting warmer. I hear birds chirping. It feels like we are pretty close to spring at this point. So anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to minimize my video just so I'm not staring at myself, but feel free to put any questions you might have in the chat. Have a wonderful week, everyone, and I will see you all on Wednesday next week. Thank you. You as well. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you too. Thank you. See you next week. Have a wonderful week for you as well. I figured. I figured that's what you meant.